Hello there, very special good evening to you and welcome to Mr. Chairman. I'm David Samuels, wherever you are in St. Lucia, in the big wide world, but specifically in St. Lucia, from Grosley in the north to Vieux in the south, our friends on the eastern coastline, of course, our friends in Dennery and Micoud and environs, not forgetting those folks at Marigot and Jacmel, not forgetting you fine folks, Sansloray, Canaries, Soufrière, Choiseul, Labrie. Thank you very much for attending yet another meeting tonight. On this week's Mr. Chairman, we focus on the Castries Constituencies Council, CCC, through its mayor and CEO, Mr. Peterson Francis and Ms. Anselma Caldron, respectively. We learn about some of the challenges confronting the CCC during its day-to-day operations, meeting its monthly wage bill, increasing revenue streams, city vending, public transportation, bus terminal plans, proposed metered parking, city police, keeping the city clean, solid waste management goals, and the rebranding of the CCC amongst other matters, plus your calls, of course. It's all happening on Mr. Chairman tonight. Thank you very much, Madam CEO. Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for being here tonight and from
Yes,
taking
sure.
time. I know you guys were socializing with some hoity-toity folks tonight, and I got you guys to leave pretty early, I imagine, and
For
to
sure.
find your way here.
Yes.
So I hope I didn't spoil the fun.
Oh,
In
no,
any
that's
way.
okay. That's all right. At least we are actually ensuring that we continue to do a little more than just socialize and continue the work even beyond the regular hours.
Engage,
But that's okay.
engage the
Engaging
people.
with, yeah, there you go. We got a little bit of interfacing with individuals who are more on the social, and now we're going to be interfacing with individuals in the far and wide, I should say. Yeah.
Before I ask any questions, I just want to publicly thank you guys. I have been a CDC boy for years, eons. And so Castries has always been very special to me. I remember a time when Castries was such a beautiful, well-kept, clean city. And so I was able to see the deterioration, especially in the 80s and 90s. It really dropped in its standards. And for you folks to have just taken over where others have left off, and to have created such a buzz in the city. Everywhere you go, people talk about the mayor and his CEO and the staff there, how things have changed. Like all of a sudden, care is being shown in many areas that one got a feeling that some of your predecessors never really cared. That's my way of putting it. So it's a good way to open the batting. I just want to say to you both that you folks have really done a tremendous job, and based on some of the discussions we had yesterday during our discussions, I want to say to the people of Castries, wow, you're in for a really interesting ride. And I'm quite sure that by the time we open the lines and you probably have your questions to ask, I'm quite sure you are going to be very, very surprised at what Castries is going to be like in the next 2 to 3 years. So thank you very much once again, both of you, for taking time to be here this evening. The function of a mayor in the city, I sometimes wonder whether people really know what a mayor is, what a mayor does. And would you like to give us some sort of indication as to, I know you heard the Lord Mayor of London, yeah, the mayor of Fort-de-France, the mayor of of Paris and so on.
And here where you were in June.
And this time you're in, yeah.
You know, it's a nice one. What is what does a mayor do? What is really the function of the mayor?
Basically, I mean, I don't know. I believe there was a misconception before, or probably the politicians never allowed the office of the mayor to function. But basically, the mayor is in charge of the city. I mean, only in St. Lucia we take that thing very lightly. But I mean, when you go to, let's say, close by to Martinique, the mayor basically have a quasi government.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go to Switzerland, that's a big thing. I mean, it's another government, you know, and so we call it local government here, and so on. England, you realize the power. I don't know before whether politicians stifle mayors or probably people just held the position for the name. But you are in charge of the city. And one of the things that we have shown is that before everybody say, where's the police, where's the police? Yes, the police is a law enforcement. But you are the one that's in charge of the city, and there are things that have to be done. And the buck stop here. Basically, I mean, as anything, you have central government who has the policies, and you're part of the government. They have the policies which you have to be in tune with. But at the same time, you have to take the lead. I can't wait in the Prime Minister say, well, Peterson, what are you doing about this? What are you going to do about that? I mean, these are the things I have to bring to him for the betterment of the city.
But you guys, the Prime Minister and you guys meet reasonably often to discuss.
We do. But you see, the advantage that I have is this: you must realize I was a candidate late in the game. I mean, very, very, very late in the game. The good thing about the leader of the United Workers' Party, as a candidate, the policies that we are looking at, everybody participated. It was not for a certain section. We all, as a candidates, met and discussed the policies one by one and so on. And you had your views, you had a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So that has, basically give me the vision, but I know what the party is working on. So I do not have to basically bother the Prime Minister to say, hey, I know the vision of what the Prime Minister is looking at, because it was discussed. I was part and parcel of discussing the policies of the party.
And the role of the CEO?
Well, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, responsible mainly for the management of the city. If we look at it as, how would I say that, a business approach to council matters, the manager, the mayor would be responsible for the oversight, the chairmanship of the board, and myself ensuring that the business is run properly. So I am accountable to the mayor, or to the board rather. Yeah. So responsible for admin, responsible for the staff, responsible for ensuring that policies are drafted and approved by the mayor and his team. That we run things as should be to ensure that the city, as you are appreciating now, looks clean, feels clean, that our various departments are well run.
It used to be the Castries City Council, and I know it mushroomed into the Castries constituency.
That's not gravitated. It was degraded.
Degraded, in your opinion?
It is.
Okay, speak to that.
Degraded.
Castries City Council, and you had all the other, I think it is Castries North, Castries South, Castries East,
and Castries
Central. Yeah.
So the four constituencies have representatives on the council.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yes.
That's how it is done. So, which means, in effect, you have a situation where one cannot really say that it's a flambeau thing, is it?
No.
Because you have two of those seats, Castries South and Castries East, have been won by the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Yeah.
So, basically, the people who represent those Labour Party constituencies, they obviously try as much as possible to relate to what is taking place in the city and are able to report to their relevant MPs.
There you
Yes.
go. Mhm.
So is there continuous dialogue with those MPs as we speak? Or there are problems from time to time? I hope I'm not putting you
No,
on
you're
the
putting me on
spot.
Sunday. But you see, when I look at the CCC right now, I mean, basically what they have done is transfer like a little government. So now you basically is opposition and government.
All lumped together.
That is correct.
Yes.
So when we go at council, I mean, the guys, I'm not saying we have had that problem, I mean, but you have to be careful because obviously they look after the interests of their party. We have to look at the interests of the government. So you get that back and forth. So that's all what they have done is to transfer parliament to CCC now. That's why they have degraded. CCC doesn't have the power it has before. Let's take for example, if the opposition had won all of the Castries basin seats, they still would not be able to control the council. The government of the day will be the one with the majority of the councillors, because and it has gone up. They could appoint up to 15 councillors. So if they had won all 4 in the basin, it means that it's only 4 councillors they'll have out of 15. Because you could, but you have the act up to 15 councillors.
But right now, what you have?
We have 11.
You have 11.
Yes.
So how does it work out? Two from each constituency?
Well, the makeup again, as I told you, I mean, is up to the government. The opposition could only speak to 2 councillors.
So
Because there are 2 winning MPs.
Yeah.
so
We
there's one councillor from Castries
Castries
East,
South.
and Castries
someone
South and
from
Castries East.
Right.
right? And then how many
The
other?
remaining 9. would be
The other 9
elected
is
by-
elected by the government.
I see. So that's
Yes.
9 and 2.
9 and 2.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there had to be a clever person who designed that. So even though you have won certain seats and so on, the government of the day is in control.
Interesting.
So that is, so that is why, I'm a very strong supporter of local government. I mean, let people choose who they want to represent them. You understand? So another thing that, as I said, degraded the city council before could have borrow money and do what it's supposed to be doing. Now everything have to be done through the government. So that's what I'm telling you. That is not an upgrade.
It's interesting you say that. Do you think that the time is coming when we will begin to revert to what used to take place many years ago, where the councillors were elected by the people?
We have to. We have to. We have to. It's the people's. That's the people's business. And for argument's sake, I mean, you believe if councillors were elected, that for 15 years you have not had one financial statement. You have not accounted to the people where the monies have gone through. We have not for the last 15
years. How is that possible?
It is possible.
Well, clearly it has happened.
That's what we want when we came to the council.
But one of the things I want to assure the citizens of Castries is that there will be financial statements in our first year. We have to account. This is what we have brought to the council, accountability and transparency. We have brought. That is what I'm working on, and it doesn't matter whether it happens within or without, the same action will be taken. So in that respect, we have now have a management team we have put together. We are now having a financial controller. We have a human resource individual. We have the CEO now. Okay, we have a market manager. We have a project manager and special initiatives. So all these management thing now. So not what people have seen that have happened in the last 6 months. This is just the openers. The batsmen have not started coming in because they have not been able to bowl anybody else. So especially when our first wicket fall, then you'll see things unfolding.
1 year ago, where were you and what were you doing?
Oh, well, let me go just a little further than 1 year ago. I actually started my career with government at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. where I worked for some 14 years. Then it was attached to community development, so I got quite a lot of community, working with the community experience, working in the community. From there, I moved to the Ministry of the Public Service. I was called to assist with training. And within a year and a half, within 2 years, I should say, I moved from training officer to deputy director for training, and then moved on to Ministry of Education as the director for human resource development, and retired from at that level, and then here I am, serving as the CEO for Castries Constituency Council. Before the stint with the public service, I also taught. I taught for 8 years, 5 years at St. Mary's College and 3 years at the SD Academy.
Any specific subject?
Oh yes, math was
your forte.
My forte. But I also did what was then Principles of Business Commerce. Then it shifted to Principles of Business. And at St. Mary's College, when Brother Cyril passed away, I taught for 1 year his subject, geography.
I see. 1 year ago, where were you? What were you doing?
Trying to win a seat.
So you were more or less the point man for the UWP in March of 2016. You were the one.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine, Mr. Mayor and Madam CEO, did you ever imagine that in less than 1 year that you would have found yourself in the positions that you have found yourselves in?
Not at all. This was the furthest thing from my mind. Sometimes I pause and wonder, but how did it happen? How did I get here? You know, but I think when one is interested in the growth and development of one's community, I think that individuals should expect anything. When I say anything, individuals are watching you, they're observing you, and eventually you find yourself in places you never dreamt of. And I think this is what's happening in this case. I worked with my community. I was interested in the further development, and when I say community, I'm referring to not just the immediate area I came from, which is I am from, which is the Masha community. Can any good thing come out of Masha? But my city, Castries, and by extension the country St. Lucia. I love my country. I keep telling individuals that. Persons keep asking me over and over again, and Selma, why are you not with your, if your family or relatives over in places like maybe the United States or Canada? And I keep saying no. Home is the best place for me. I love St. Lucia, and I'm going to continue to contribute to my island in whatever way I can. But having said all of this, this was the furthest thing from my mind, serving as a councillor first at Castries Constituency Council, and now CEO. Furthest thing from my mind.
1 year ago, it was being speculated that elections would have been, we were all expecting it would have been November. So you were the candidate selected by the party. And of course, I think St. Lucians are all aware of what transpired. You backed off, and then Sarah came on the scene, and before you know it, she's the MP. But you went around Central Castries, obviously introducing her to some people, although she had in fact won the seat on 2 occasions in the past. But back to the question, did you ever imagine that 12 months ago you would have been the mayor of Castries?
Well,
how did that happen?
I don't know.
I suspect there's a story there.
Yeah, there's a story there, and it's a funny story. First thing I would like to say is that I'm someone, as the CEO said, I love my country, and I will work my country without any color. When I graduated to the United Workers' Party, I have to make that point. I joined the United Workers' Party, where people will say, at the worst point in their history, where the people saying it's not a party, who is the leader. No, that's the time, and you realize that I left a party in government. So, I mean, I am all about work and not about myself. I just say, I went to a place where people say I was mad. But I went and I worked. Now, about that mayorship, no. That was, I mean, I would never have seen myself. I wasn't. Funny enough, that when the party won, I actually recommended to my MP someone, right, to be the mayor and so on. She didn't have a problem and so on, but as things unfold, then they will be surprised, I mean, where that thing come from. I got a call from my brother Claudius and said, hey, you're a candidate, you have your ideas, you have the city and so on. What's the best place for you to see what you can do? Is it a mayor?
And Claudius actually called you.
And told me about it. And that's how I am now. That's why now because I was the furthest. And when he spoke to me,
that is something.
Yeah, and he spoke to me, I say, hey, you're serious to do and so on. You don't have to be an MP, to do certain changes, to see certain things are done. And then I embraced the idea, and that is the end result of it. Nothing from my mind as far as mayor.
So, if Claudius had not intimated that, you probably would not have...
No, not probably, I would not have.
You would not have thought of it?
No.
You would not even...
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow, that's interesting.
No, I was never interested in that. I was never interested. I'm always a down-to-earth man. I don't... Spotlight doesn't make anything to me.
Now that you are in the position, give us what's a typical day like for you? Starting from early in the morning, you've had your coffee already, you've had your breakfast, if you've had time to have that, and you get into your car, and you drive to work.
Yes.
Give us a sense as to...
I sometimes wonder, from the time I reach the yard, it starts there with about a whole lot of people there waiting. Okay? I have a situation, someone sends breakfast to me, and 95% every day is when I turn back, I see there and that's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was grateful that the CEO who had some time on her hand before would come, and that eased it up. But you must realize when I came in, I met a town clerk. Then we had to do something with the town clerk. So I had to then take on the whole administration of the place, not only my mayor alone. Then we hired another one. Then within 3 months, we were back to the same position. I had to manage the whole place with the help of, at that time, the CEO was a council and deputy mayor, and she would come in and basically give me some support. So another thing is that in my own business now has suffered. Is suffering. I had to hire people, and I still have to find time, not during the day but at night, to do my own personal business. Mm-hmm. So it's a hectic situation for me. Sometimes I believe I'm a junior prime minister because of the number and everybody. Sometimes when people realize there's some element of seriousness and things that are being done, everybody gravitates to that place. So you can imagine on a daily basis what it is. The only thing that is saving me now is a little renovation that we have in now, so it's not that accessible to people. But it's basically an 8 to 8 job, sometimes.
Interesting.
What's your day like?
Wow, could I say every day is different. When you're dealing with almost 300 workers.
When you told me yesterday that you had 300 people employed.
Approximately. Just a little less than that, yeah.
I was shocked. Where are those people?
They're all over the constituency, working, cleaning, in comfort stations. Well, we have about 65 monthly paid workers. And the rest would be the daily paid workers, or inclusive of our sanitation, our contractors. We probably have about roughly 50 individuals who are contracted on a monthly basis. So yes, we do have about 300 individuals that we work with. 300 different characters that we face every day. So you never know what to expect. Some individuals have been frustrated over the years, and we are trying to ensure that they enjoy what they're doing. They're satisfied with the day-to-day activities. The individuals who didn't feel that they were employed in the right place, and they need a shift, probably from the cemetery to the work section. So it's a lot. They're characters who just cannot get along with each other. So we need to be counselors as well as, managers. And it's interesting to ask, what is the day like? As Mr. Peterson was saying, whenever we enter that parking lot, that section to the back, right now we're not using the front, we're using the back, individuals are waiting for attention. And it tells me that probably they were not getting that kind of attention
Those
before.
are your babies,
yes.
right?
They were not getting that
You have
before.
to baby some of them, right?
Oh, yes.
From actual job problems to home problems to you name it. And we are trying as best as we can to ensure that the staff is happy. I think to a certain extent we are succeeding. They're telling us that they're happy about the change. They're happy that they have individuals now who are listening to them, who are identifying with their issues. So if not anything else, we are making a difference to about 300 individuals in the Castries constituency.
That's amazing. And one of the things that came up was, or is, the wage bill. And you quoted a figure there yesterday that just threw me off. $500,000
Yes.
annually?
Annually?
Monthly.
Monthly. Oh, which
Half
is about
$1,000,000 monthly.
Yep,
My
you're right.
God.
Dave.
Speak to that. I'm
Let me tell you.
just...
Number one, I don't know. I mean, when I came in there, I say, well, the CCC is is an employment agency. Yes, we are talking about $500,000. We've not one qualified staff to say has anything, any qualifications in anything. Incidentally, I mean, I laugh all the time because I do some visit and go and see the staff in it, and I visit the cemetery, and I asked the guy, "Man, what do you do here?" And he told me, "Oh, he's mixing water." I said, "At long last, I found a qualified person. We have a chemist." At the cemetery, he says mixing. He wanted to tell me mixing mortar, but he says he's mixing water.
Okay.
And that is a killer. And basically, you have a situation where people were just placed there.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's what we are now challenged with. People were placed at CCC. In other words, not you're supporting me. Go down to CCC. And this is what happens. So we have people that we have jobs that duplicated, right? And basically, and we have to do something about it. I know before you try to streamline things and put things in order, we are balling is politics and so on. I'm not worried about that. I'm not sure that my conscience is clear. I could justify what I'm doing, and that's basically what I'm doing. But it is bad. I do not have absolutely no problem if people are there and they have work to be done. We have people right now who gets an 8 hours day for 4 hours. They have people when they finish work in 2 hours.
So what do they do the rest of the day?
I would like to give me some suggestion. This is a situation we found. And people must understand what it is. We are talking about $500,000 a month. We get a subvention of $4 million from government, but our wage bill is over $6 million. So the subvention we are getting to do things in the city is not even enough to pay salaries. So that's just spitting top in mud. Mm-hmm. So people, you must understand what is happening at the CCC. People were just placed there, and now they want to make the new administration, but we have to deal with that situation, and we are dealing with it slowly but surely. Because you can't tell me a man finished work at 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, some of what you've said I've heard before, and I've often wondered, how will past mayors able to accept that. It's just very, very, very surprising. You speak about rebranding the CCC, and it's very obvious that that is already on the way. What are some of your ideas?
Well, I think one of the things that I'm very happy that it's getting root is that the rebranding. As you know, you're a CDC boy. I'm also a CDC boy. And when we talk about Castries City Council, the first thing in your mind is rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That is you don't know anything
You
else.
know, it's interesting. I always remember just walking along High Street, just walking, either to town or from town, and sometimes you really have to hold your nose.
That's right.
Yeah, on High Street.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So basically, what we try to do, in the rebranding, is say, look, that is a service and not rubbish. The same way an employee goes into a bank, any other institution to perform the work, this CCC is a noble profession too. So you must come in here with pride to do what you have to do, because what you're doing is as extremely or even more important than someone working in the bank, because if the street is littered, we have garbage all around the place, they can't even go to work. You understand? So it is even more important if you look at it that way, and we have tried to instill that in the staff, and that is now coming out. So you'll see the guys in the road. I'm saying now, not only that you see the place is clean, but you see the place will be cleaner in time to come. But you feel it's clean. You're feeling it. You don't even have to. The blind fellas now even have to worry about it. They're feeling it. Okay? So we did. The council, we did certain things. Like for argument's sake, we brought a communication manager. People took us to task. They cannot understand that. You have a rubbish place communication manager. But now they're seeing the benefit of having the information outside there, what we are doing. And now people, I think they follow CCC so much.
That came from within the organization
Yes,
or without?
Within.
Within the organization. They
Basically,
took objection.
I did have some resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a full-time job? How that going to work? But I know what I have a vision for the council. I've had it. That is why people are looking, but now seeing the council is moving too fast.
Some people actually say
Yeah,
that.
because too fast. Because we don't have to think of the next step. I could tell you, I know, and I do not have it on paper. That's where I'm moving next. And the next place we're going to make a solid dent is garbage
collection. Mm-hmm.
Garbage collection.
Mm-hmm.
There will be an absolutely new initiative to rid that place of garbage, and people will have to understand.
And that has been a sore point in the city for at least a decade and a half, or maybe even 2 decades.
Yes. Maybe you will see a significant change when that, because we are now lobbying, because we are dissatisfied with the garbage collection in the 4 constituencies. I think solid waste is trying the utmost, but people always say consultation, education, consultation.
I want to tell you something that happened today. I live on the Mon, and I went and I threw some garbage in an area there.
You threw it?
I threw the garbage. And one of the things that struck me as I placed the bag in the bin. Is the area around. You almost get a sense that the people who are managing that area, they just the responsibility, maybe that's the mindset.
That's the bin.
Oh, let me take the garbage away. Mm-hmm. And but the entire area is filthy. Filthy.
Yeah,
and I just stood there for a while. I says, my gosh, you could tell it was just a job. What's lying on the ground is not my responsibility.
There you go.
Yes.
And that's a fundamental problem. Because if you are supposed to manage the area. You need to ensure the area is clean. Then it has
Take
to
what's around the
encompass.
bin. There you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Pieces of wood and it was
And you're
filthy.
you're quite right. That's how the garbage is collected.
Yes.
The truck comes and it collects the bin, and everything else is just left
Yes.
there. And now CCC has to deploy individuals to the point to ensure.
To clean up, to mop up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
At no cost. And then we have individuals or contractors who are getting paid. So we are lobbying. I use the word lobbying, but as far as I'm concerned, that is what I want to do, is to take over for the for constituencies, because we have to be 50% doing what they're supposed to be doing, which we don't have a problem with, but at the same time we want to get control of it. And then we have the initiative that it will be done. You'll then see a cleaner Castries and environs. I could assure you of that.
But of course, that will call for the cooperation of the entire public.
Yes.
We'll be doing our part, and
Yes,
we're hoping
yes.
that they too would do their part. There will be some policies. Sometimes we don't like the don'ts, but there will be some don'ts put in place.
Right.
And we are hoping that the public will cooperate with us. It's our country, eh? And it's up to us to make it clean.
Some of the merchants are very guilty of that, particularly when they
Or do they stop
have
taking?
new stock.
Yeah.
And it is not uncommon to see at 5-6 o'clock in the evening in front of many shops in the Castries Basin, lots of
Cardboard
boxes
and
and
so
all that.
Yeah.
And sometimes what
Filthy.
they do
Awful.
is that some of these owners just give one of these vagrants on
Yes,
the road
yes,
$2,
a
and
few dollars.
$2, and
Yeah.
they don't care where they put it.
Yes.
And sometimes they just shift it from one corner to the next corner.
Yeah.
So this will be taken care of in due course,
That is really great news.
and it will be taken care of firmly.
Yeah. Before we take our first break, there's a question. I want to revisit something you discussed regarding Claudius.
Yeah.
I've often found it
I hope you don't-
fascinating.
Yes.
But the question is very simply, here is a very controversial brother of yours. In fact,
In what
all your
aspect?
brothers,
All of us.
Yeah, very controversial guys. Claudius has stayed on in the Labour Party. He is the chairman,
Yes.
still is the chairman of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Claudius advises you or suggests
Mhm.
to you, why don't you, since you know the city, why don't you consider being mayor?
Yes.
And you accept. You think it's a wonderful idea, and today, as a result of that suggestion that he made, you are the mayor today. Try to make St. Lucians understand the relationship between Claudius, who is a rank Labour boy, and you and your brother Hummelgill gravitated into a different color, a different party. What is the relationship like between Claudius, Hummelgill, yourself? Do you have moments of intense friction, and where perhaps if I was around I'd have to give you all boxing gloves or anything like that? Or it's just a figment of my imagination?
It is simple. We never discuss politics.
Wow.
Great.
How is that possible?
We never
Because
discuss
all of you love politics.
never discuss politics.
You all don't discuss politics at all?
No.
Amazing. We'll leave it there. Let's take our first break. You are viewing Mr. Chairman. I'm David Samuels, and I'm here with Mr. Mayor of Castries, Mr. Peterson Francis, and his lovely CEO, Ms. Anselma Cauldron. We'll be back in a short while. Stay tuned. Hello there, welcome back. I'm David Samuels, Mr. Chairman. We will be opening the lines in about 15-20 minutes to give you, our esteemed viewers, the opportunity to, chat with us. You may have one or two questions for the mayor and his CEO. and I'm sure he is looking forward to receiving your calls and maybe your suggestions as well. You may have some concerns about the city of Castries, and perhaps in the area that you live in, you may want to see certain things occur. So it'll be a good opportunity for you to interact with our guest tonight. Earlier on, you were talking about the staff and some of the issues, and something struck me. About 2 or 3 evenings ago, I was viewing television, and there was this big story about one of your employees who obviously had an issue with the council and the union representative, spokesperson. He was agitating, and almost he sounded in a sort of intimidatory fashion. He was, saying, "Oh, you guys must pay the people," or words to that effect. There was some sort of complex. Are you familiar with the story? This employee who had some issues, so he went to the
To the union?
to the union, and a statement was made. It just seemed a little odd that there was not a statement from.
A statement
either one of us?
A statement will be put out.
So you are familiar.
Yes, we are
You are
familiar with
familiar.
that. But I didn't see the individual, and I believe they have said that it happened on 2 occasions where he come and agitating himself. But one of the problems that I have, as experienced on the city, qualified, unionists and so on. If there is an issue or something is wrong in the process that have been implemented, but you're a unionist, you don't have to come on television to burst a blood vessel. to get that thing rectified. But you're a unionist, you know the law, you know the procedures, and you know how you're not a layman. So,
and you've struck a very interesting point here, and it is something which I think I've highlighted before. It seems to be the norm. People run to the press, and I believe, as a press person myself, I understand what is going on. But you would think that any intelligent, rational person, before going to the press, let me pick up the phone and arrange to have a meeting with the mayor, and let us see how we can work around a particular problem. But for some reason, they go to the press. I like the way you put it, vessel. It's something that we need to consider. To me, the press should be the last resort. Try to work things out in an amicable way. But we run to the press.
You're in the best position that know the procedure. Probably we have lapsed. But you know the procedure. You believe that you're an expert. Come do what you have to do.
Our people seem to love the press, and it's not bad. But like you said, the first thing we should be doing is speaking with the individuals who could make the change, and then we go to the individuals.
And sometimes, you see, the press maliciously, if I could say that, press people,
they probe.
They probe, and they select what to highlight in a story.
But the most fundamental thing about these things is that, you see, the things that they are now agitating about are things that they encourage to happen. So when you hear about these workers and that is why they are vexed. They are not vexed about the issue, They are vexed about their people. But they're not vexed about what the people have done and what they are doing. It's just about that, but you have dealt with one of our people.
I see. So that's what it's really all about. But I've always
somebody interfere with your child, you don't know why you'll be agitated, especially in the mud. They do that. So that is what is happening. It's not a matter of representation. It's that you have interfered with one of the children.
On the question of discord, speak to the vendors issue. I know that there will be some changes down the road with vending in Castries and environs. And there has been quite a lot of discourse about one of the vending personnel and in Ras Ipa. What is really going on? What is the story? First, and then speak to us about vending in the city. What is being looked upon in the coming months?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing about Rasa. But Rasa is not an issue. My focus is what is right, and to manage what is underneath my control. And if you do not do what you have to do, it doesn't matter whether you're RAS. I'm not going to use the other one. It doesn't matter to me. Okay? But we have some individuals who have gotten away in the past by talking their way, by lying, by not giving the facts. Okay? So, we have an issue of electricity. It doesn't matter who it is. We will take it, and you'll have more of that coming up. I mean, let's say for argument's sake, maybe that has been happening for a while. But we had an issue right now with a staff taking a skull from the cemetery. Now, before, maybe that was the norm.
A skull?
Yes.
A skull?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, probably that was
a staff taking a skull
from the cemetery.
My.
Now, probably that was something of was a norm.
What's
nobody
the staff
looks
doing
at
with a skull?
Well, I don't know. But that's not an issue.
Gosh, this is...
But the matter has been investigated. The matter, and I mean, then they will have been arrested. Because I mean, we are not there to perpetuate wrong things. We are there to put things in perspective. So what it will happen within, we'll take the same action without. So that is a seriousness. So when the issue of the arcade, you understand? The people in the arcade must understand they have been very, very, very lucky people. You have prime property. You're looking at $120 a month. You understand? So they have been very lucky. You expect to go and you want to use the facility, use the electricity, and nobody could tell you anything. Nobody could do anything. But we had a situation, we were renovating the shelves, I mean the counters for the people in the arcade. And he had an issue with that. 2 weeks before he was agitating for that. He had an issue with that. Assaulted one of the contractors working for us. The matter was taken to court. On the second occasion when the matter came up, he and his lawyer asked for mediation. Okay? The marriage said, okay, let it go to mediation. He went to mediation. He apologized to the guy. It went back to mediation, and the matter was finished there. But he has the audacity to say, well, the matter was dismissed. I mean, we have the records are there. So I mean, I'm not going to allow that to distract me. That's a minor issue. But we have the work of the council to think. I am not. If you realize, Dave, that when I came into the council, do you hear that I ever say that I'm investigating corruption? No. Where is that taking you? You waste 5 years and then you know to people, what have you done? To investigate people just 5 years? I mean, the people choose. If something comes out glaringly, then we'll take action about it. But what am I going to investigate to find out if something was done that the people spend their money how they see it's to them? We are now putting the people's money into good use. And that's basically what it is. I'm not going to waste my time to go and investigate what? Looking for who? You know, and this is basically what is happening. So we are focusing going forward. But as I read something, and then I step over that, I realize that's a pen. I have to say that's a pen. And that's basically what it is. So that's a minor issue. And so we are looking at the bigger issue, but that doesn't mean that we'll condone transgression. And he must understand that. You can say, what you want about me? You see, mayor means nothing to me. As I've told people before, you know me, because probably out of 100, 95 things that is not good about Peterson Francis. But you know me. You don't know me because I'm mayor. I mean, Dave Sam doesn't know Peterson Francis because he's mayor.
True.
So I'm not going to do anything to do as if I want to make sure I stay there as mayor because, it makes people know me. No.
You're just passing through.
That is correct.
Just passing through.
That
Get the job done.
That's
and
right.
move on to your next goal.
That is correct.
But to be fair though, the vendors, especially in that area, they've had some really rough time. Especially during rainfall and all that. All those issues.
We understand that.
sorted
And
out now,
we are
or-
working at we are working with them. I mean,
They've had some tough times. In fact, from day one when we came, that was our first stop.
yes, yes.
We went into the market to check things out because there were so many complaints. Rain wetting their stuff, sun shining too heavy on their stuff. It's a lot. And what we realized is just a few simple things that would,
Had to
if
be
they were
done.
adjusted, if they were done, that take care of this, and the folks were happy again. And we know that there's still quite a lot that we need to look at, a lot of little things we need to put in place. But the folks were having a tough time there.
Yeah.
The midsection of the roof, that was bad, and allowing the water to slip right through. The drainage was not what it should have been. So the water accumulated during rainy times. The counters were termite eaten. So all of these things we were taken care of. That is why I'm not too sure what was wrong with the gentleman IPA when we began to put all those things in place. He should have been happy. We are taking care of the individuals that he's supposed to be managing. And instead he was just, I don't know, he was just in an uproar and very antagonistic.
Yeah, but they
Seemed not to have appreciated what was happening.
Yeah, to add to what the CEO is saying. I mean, how many vendors have you seen on the road complaining? How many have you seen the vendors out there and saying, well, no, nothing is happening, what is going on, we were renovating the arcade, we have not raised the rent, we have not clamored about a raise, and if you don't pay, we're not fixing. We're going about and do what we have to do. We have now employed a market manager, so that relationship is there. She's on the spot. So I mean, we know now what is happening, what is the complaints going to be. We are putting everything in place to make everybody happy.
Vending in the city outside of the vending area, the Castries market, the vendors area.
Yes.
What about the city
We have a plan for that.
Miku Street.
Yes, we have a plan for that, which will encompass taking everybody from the road. And when we take everybody on the road,
where are you going to put them?
We have a plan for that.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me.
And
It's gonna happen.
basically, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We had plans in that.
You will move them to
a better
one
location.
or two
Yes.
streets.
They're not on the street. We're definitely going to avoid the streets. I think the streets must be free for visitors and locals alike. Our streets supposed to be free. It's also going to help with the security of the
city.
Okay, right. So,
but do you anticipate any opposition to that?
Everything we do.
A vendor who has been, selling on the city streets for 10 years, 15 years, they've got used to it. It's become like their little workstation, as it were. All of a sudden, you have to confine them to a new area. There will be some opposition.
Well, it's anything. Even the things that's good for yourself, you oppose it, And, well, probably, I mean, as you see in that, I mean, when I see that, things that are good for yourself, sometimes we don't realize the benefit of certain things until it happens, and sometimes you are forced to do it. It's just like my example that I never had in my slightest idea that I've been mayor today. You understand? But what people do not understand, let's say for instance, the guys selling the fish on the road, but they believe that
was
only
quite a story.
Yes, that they only believe
I
that.
found it very, very.
They believed over the years that's the only way they could survive, to be in front. Okay. They are now gone to where they're supposed to sell the fish. Have you heard any complaint? Have you heard anybody on television saying that we are not selling? Probably they're selling more. They said that they didn't have lighting. We have put lighting for them. So we are thinking, but at the same time we're trying to show them it's not because you and Jeremy City will sell more fish. But I have not heard one fish come on television to call the press and say no. We are here now.
Fish, yeah.
We ain't selling anything. Obviously, things probably have gone better because more people go to one location and do what they have to do. What we're going to do, I mean, as far as the vendors are concerned, put one. So when St. Lucian visitors go to the market, they go to the market. They go to an area to see, that's where you have it. That's where you need. So there are sometimes you might be struggling. Sometimes you realize that every year making $20, and they are satisfied because they've adjusted their life to $20. But you'll find a new location, a new thing where you have more people.
That leads me to another point. In specific areas, there are some JPs who are conducting work. How is
on a
that
daily
going
basis.
to?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
you
how-
what are you saying?
I'm just
Are
trying.
you saying are they paying? Are they
I'm
doing?
just asking. I'm just asking. I mean,
We
clearly it's a source of
What?
income for them, obviously, and a lot of businesses being contracted along that street. Is it Labrie Street or Monjero Street? Labrie Street.
Labrie Street,
Labrie
right.
Street. A lot of
Yeah.
them just outside of the
I will leave that
Judah
issue to the
building.
We-
judiciary.
To do?
The judiciary.
we are dealing with everything in strides. We do not want to. In fact, we are trying because individuals are saying we are doing too much too quickly. But
How can individuals say?
Well-
they are saying it. Hey, you are pushing too much too quickly.
People
we
are
cannot
actually
handle
saying
this.
Yes.
Yeah, the change is too much. You know. So the question that you just asked, we have thought about it, but we are going to be handling it and handling it cautiously. Like you said, there are things that we should allow other individuals to assist us in doing and doing well. So you're going to be hearing about it at another city.
Okay, let's open the lines. Let's open the lines and give our viewers an opportunity to interact with us. The telephone numbers are on the screen: 451 9349, 451 9349, 453 1730. And by the way, we are streaming live internationally at www.stluciafirst.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and if you've got any suggestions or criticisms for the mayor and his office, please don't hesitate to call us and let us know. 451-9349, 453-1730. Castries, thank you so much for calling. You're on the air.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening.
Good evening to your guests.
Hmm.
I'm happy to hear that the issue of garbage collection will be addressed, and I am hoping that the issue of derelict vehicles will also be addressed,
Yes.
because that too is garbage.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Interesting. It's an interesting point. It
Yeah,
is
that's
something-
why we are working on that.
Yes, it's an interesting.
Yes,
You
yes.
do see some of them on some city streets,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
abandoned years ago, still lying there. 451-9349, 453-1730. Let's another caller from Castries. Hi, Castries. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr.
Hi.
Chairman. Good
Hi.
evening to your guests as well.
Hmm.
I'm just calling regarding the stray dog situation in Castries Central. I'm a resident there, and it is a situation that we have been trying to address within our community. I live at New Village, and we have stray dogs on the road at night, and it's unbearable. I know we want to curb the situation with the garbage and remove the bins in those areas as well. But what are we going to do about the stray dog situation within our city capital? Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, we have started looking at this, and we are not doing it alone. We have involved even the association that's so concerned about animals and animal rights. That's LASP. We have involved them, but we have an individual who assisting us in ensuring that it is done well. The plan is to get them out of the city. We were having a little challenge here because the animal lovers, we would not want to hurt them. We would not want to do anything that would affect our tourist industry, because we know that there's some individuals who love animals so much that if we do anything out of the way, they may decide not to come back to St. Lucia. So whatever we are doing, we want to ensure that we are doing it right. But it's a sore point, and we are working on it. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
And as a matter of fact, if the individual should check, they would notice that the number of stray dogs in the streets have diminished to a great extent. Maybe not in her area just yet, but the number of stray dogs have diminished.
There used to be a lot of stray dogs in Castries. There are still some,
Yes.
but it's not as bad as
It's
it
not as
used
bad.
to be.
It's not as bad.
It's not as bad as it used to be at
Yeah.
all. What about the city police? What could you tell us about? It's, by the way, it's one of the developments that you've been given a lot of credit for, and as a matter of fact, it's raised some concern. I hear people saying now, oh, the city police are on the beat, but you're not seeing the regular police anymore. Explain the correlation between the city constabulary and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. What is the relationship like? And
We, as I said, I mean, in August when I was installed, I said, look, I mean, the security of the city is a business of the CCC. And I said that, we're going to get that city policed. And you realize the city police now is in black and white and so on. But things went ahead of us, for argument's sake, in around November, December, we know all this snatching and this. So we had to advance, bring out the city police.
could you hold that thought?
Yes.
Just want to
Yeah.
give. Hi, Anthropo. Nice to hear from you, Anthropo.
Hi,
Castries East.
yes, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
and your guesses.
Guests.
No, you have two of them.
Yes.
Well, guests.
Guesses. Guess.
No, not guesses. Guests.
Guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I called to share a concern.
Sure.
Especially some activity that taking place on Jeremy Street. We're looking at Jeremy Street from the traffic light by the Castries Market to the credit union up the top, don't it?
Let me hear that again.
Towards Chaussee.
We're looking at the Jeremy Street
Yes.
by the Castries Market,
Yes.
went all the way up to the credit union.
Oh, CSC.
The Chaussee area.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have some food vendors. Just remember, we have a traffic light on that road, that stretch of road, and we have food vendors that are selling food on the road. On the road itself, everybody's seeing it, and it's a nightmare on that stretch of road, and it's just waiting for some kind of disaster, some kind of accident to happen there. When you go higher up towards the taxi stand, they have some people that's selling shoes, selling everything, and people cannot walk, and then people have some kind of alcohol beverage drinking, and it's really a nightmare, a chaos thing there around that stretch of road. What the city council, do they have any plan to rectify that problem? I will listen to you off the air.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. The two situations you have spoken about, I know it firsthand. By the CSA, I mean, I've noticed it, and we're going to do something about it, is that you actually have the people putting the grill on the road. The grill is actually on the road. I've seen that on many occasions. Wow. This is one of the things that we are going to do. The other thing about the shoes, I mean, not only that it is a thing, it's a CDC by itself on the side road. I mean, it is so tall. That's another extension to the CDC. That we are going to also rectify too. But I know about the two situations, and it's of concern to me, and I know about it. But again, as we said, we are just giving and trying to educate people that, because while you realize the concern, I agree with the concern, when you do something about it, then that is another concern.
Yeah. Marsha, good evening, Marsha. It's nice to hear from East Castries. Hi.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to put some rubbish truck in the morning when children going to school, traffic running on the road at 7:30 to 7:45, and children walking out the street, the truck smelling, and I think them people can do that around 6:30, around that time. It's not a nice thing to do that on school children traffic. In the morning in March, I have a lot of traffic in DC.
Yeah.
So the rubbish trucks are.
Yes,
okay.
Especially both of us are from that area.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm coming down to work, you get that situation, and sometimes you have to stop for a while for them to do what they have to do and so on. But I could assure you, caller, that a change is coming, and that will be something of the past.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
And you mentioned 6:30. I think 6:30 is still too late. By 5 o'clock, 5:30, the garbage truck should be on their way to get the garbage out and free up the streets.
You know, as you mentioned that, it brought something to mind
About the bell.
about, no, the garbage trucks. Um, it, I have never quite understood why the garbage trucks, sometime around 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening, they're collecting garbage in the city, right? And the guys, I don't know, maybe they want to take it out on motorists. The garbage truck is in the middle of the road. So and there's this queue. Everyone
Yes.
is just they're
Yes,
waiting,
yeah.
and we have to wait for the guys, and they're taking their cool time. They're going on this. And,
Just there.
and some of the driver, you too.
Yes.
The guy's
It
not
doesn't make a
taking you on.
difference, yeah.
It's as if they're saying, "We're in charge now. This is ours. It's our time." It is something, I've mentioned this because it is something that you have to be aware of. It's really a lot of unnecessary stress on the motoring public. I see no reason why the garbage trucks cannot park on the side of the road if it's possible, so at least traffic flows. But sometimes you almost get a sense it's a deliberate strategy on their part to frustrate motorists.
Yeah, but as you said, the last caller is correct. I mean, you don't have to start. I don't even believe you have to start at 5 o'clock in the morning. You see, whenever the traffic, people is at works, people have dropped the children to school. If you go up about 9, after 9, you see the road is clear, you know.
That's right.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
You know, they're
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
So, I mean,
When
that
the
could be
traffic
done,
is not
yes,
bad.
but they want to do it when they pick up traffic. But again, I do not know on what basis. I'm not trying to bash solid waste. But I don't know on what basis that solid waste was created. What it is. Because then you have people, contractors, you do not monitor the solid waste, have no monitoring thing to monitor people. It's when they get a complaint, they look into it. They don't monitor these contractors as to what they do, how they do it, and so on. So I wonder why solid waste in the first place was created.
I don't know, but
Sometimes I have a vision
I
about
recall
it.
when I was doing a program on Radio St. Lucia, I remember Solid Waste Management. They were a part sponsor of that program, The Agenda. And I sort of flashback. I remember that was a recurring concern.
Yeah.
People would call and say about garbage collection has always been an issue, and it seems like not much progress has been made. Let's go back to Castries. Good evening, Castries.
Yes, good evening, gender people.
Hi.
Good evening.
I want to find out what's going to happen with this activity on a Friday night on Jeremy Street there. This thing is almost like a time bomb waiting to explode. Just after you leave the bakery there, and it's not properly lit. Anything can happen there. That place is not properly lit at all. It's virtually dark. What is it? And you're passing on a Friday night, you're passing your vehicles, and people don't want to give the vehicles room. Some of them, if you think, they even hit the vehicles and all kind of thing like that.
Do you think the road should be closed?
I don't know. Something needs to be done
I understand
there.
it's quite. I have passed there sometimes, and it's always very crowded. It
Yeah.
seems to be quite a
thing-
hub of
this-
activity.
Yeah, this thing borders on civilization. Seriously, I mean, any and everything can happen there. I'm sure the mayor is always around there. He sees it.
I hope you're not accusing me of being part of it.
No.
Just joking.
So I think that it's some serious attention.
Yes, you're right, caller. And basically, what one
Okay.
of the initiative we are taking now, Castries is too dark. I mean, especially the lighting we have now. So we are working with Lucia now to look at these things now, because we have to have that place bright. We have to take a decision as the chairman was saying. Do we close? Let's say, for argument's sake, I mean, I have serious concern with the flea market being on Jeremy Street, but that's what the people want. They do not see the danger. They don't see is when, because I always, in another program I said, St. Lucia has the most fortune tellers, but the only time they work is when the thing happens. They can't tell you when it's going to happen. You understand? So we have to consider: are we going to close in Jeremy Street on a Friday night? Although we have plans to create some activity on a Saturday, probably do we transfer it from Saturday to Sunday, where we bring the the vendors, to be a vendor night, what we have in the grocery, what we have in Denry, what we have in ancillary. Because at the same time, while yes, what is happening might be unruly for the time being or uncontrolled, but we have to bring some life back to the city.
Yeah.
We must.
Yeah. Before we take our second and final break, you were talking about the city police. We got interrupted because of the calls that came in. We're talking about the police, city police, and some.
Yes,
something
well,
came up.
with the police, I mean, we have a good rapport with the police, and we try to work at all times. We are not trying to upsurge the police. The police. We work very closely with them. But the point I've always made from August of last year, that the CCC, the responsibility of the security of the city is the CCC's responsibility.
Yeah.
The police will complement us and not the other way around. So I don't want people to feel that because we are wrong, that the police have basically abandoned ship.
Yeah.
That is not the case. The other thing is that we must realize the police has a lot of functions. Immigration is a police. You have the judiciary, is police have to guard and do what, drive and guard and all these things. They have a lot on the police, and they are operating with limited resources as ourselves. Now, as I say, limited resources, I mean, people might be seeing things happening at CCC and believe that we have gotten some new set of funding or the money is coming, the money is only coming from within CCC because
Hold that thought. Hello, Castries. I know you've been holding on for a while. Sorry about that. You're on the air.
Just another point. I was looking at this place, this area there by the pump in front of the market there where the guys
By the vendors arcade.
Where the guys offload fish and fellas stood down to mess there. I think you all remember Rick wrote about that some time ago.
Yes.
Take from by the pump going towards the where there's this figure there, 48 years of independence written there. I'm seeing a nice platform can be set into the water there, push it back about 10 feet into the water, and have some kind of nice plaza something there.
Yes, Colin.
Tell me, Mr. Mayor?
We could look. We have what you're saying is, it not only sounds good, but it's possible. But we have a little limitation. The CCR we have a little because the government is working on what we call a master plan. So we have to await. We have to await the outcome of that.
See how that fits in.
That's how that's exactly.
Okay.
But that's a brilliant idea.
Thanks.
Good.
How many city police do you have right now?
We're in the 40s.
As many as that.
It's about 33.
And they work around the clock.
And we are the only people that's providing 24-hour service.
Whoa.
So a lot of people do not know that. We are providing. I was just saying about people might be saying, where do we get the funds? I mean, the government is strapped for money. We know that. So we are not trying to make it harder for them. All what we have done is the money is coming within the wastage. For argument's sake, let me tell you, we had about 72 fellas working for about $33,000 a fortnight.
72?
Supposed fellas.
Supposed. And we are talking about 16 hours, not even a day. And drawing $33,000 a fortnight.
Oh my gosh.
16 hours.
Hold that thought. Hi, Castries, new Castries caller. Good evening.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I have a problem with the vagrants in the city.
I thought it was with me.
With the ladies washing all the clothes, sitting by the roadside, the fellas walking the streets smelling. You cannot breathe properly.
Yes.
The vagrants, we have a problem with that.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Look, on the question of the vagrants, I mean, it's not a question. We know it's a problem. But first, we have to make sure that we have somewhere a reasonable place to put them. We can't just take them and put them in some public, like some in jail. We can't do that. We have to be humane. So these things we're working, right? And one of the initiatives that will be coming soon is that we are partnering with the Rotary. There'll be a soup kitchen in the gardens where you find on a daily basis. They'll be fed. They'll be clothed. They'll be bathed. They'll be medical. We'll be up to it. And we are even trying to rehab because we have some guys on the street. That's more. I'm not consider myself a brilliant person, but they are more brilliant than me. But they need that chance. So all these are the initiatives that we have coming to the fore. So just give us some people are saying we are moving too fast. Some people are saying we are not moving fast enough. So probably might have to go on top gear.
Let's take our second and final break,
I
and
thought you
we'll
wanted
be.
to- okay.
Oh, we have another caller. Okay, Castries, you're on the air.
The problem I really have in Castries.
Was that?
All the dogs.
It's echoing.
Hello?
Hello? All the dogs are in Castries. Sometimes I keep driving in the out of town.
Somebody
I do
has
not-
just mentioned. Somebody mentioned about the dogs already.
He probably just tuned in.
A lot of stray dogs. I remember a couple of years ago, it used to have a guy that used to park and collect the dog.
You mean Norman?
Yes. So I would like them to me.
No, we are working at it. We have started taking out some of the dogs already.
Okay, thank you very
Good,
much.
right.
Thank you.
Let's take our second and final break, and we'll be back with maybe a few more of your calls. And there's so much more I want to ask you. I'm not even halfway there yet. But let's take our second and final break. We'll be back momentarily. Hello there, welcome back. I'm David Samuels, Mr. Chairman, and I'm here with Mr. Peterson Francis, the Mayor of Castries, and his CEO, Ms. Anselma Cauldron, and we're talking about the Castries Constituencies Council. I just want to take the opportunity to thank all those of you who have called, many, many interesting callers indeed. And I just basically wanted to make a point that next week, Thursday, I will be having a couple of reps from the St. Lucia National Trust, and we will be talking about the dolphin controversy as well as the Maria Island controversy. So next week promises to be very, very interesting. I thought I should mention it now, so at least you sort of mark it down somewhere. It ought to be very, very interesting indeed. You were talking about the 72...
Yes. Yes, Dave. I was talking about the 72. I mean, we had 17 individuals, as I said, drawing about $33,000 a fortnight of 16 hours. Okay. And when we investigate and realize that the most we can have working on any one weekend is 13.
And they had 72.
And then we have weekends, we have only 8, because we have the weed, which you don't have to do every week. So the maximum is 13. We are still looking for the rest. And we have all institutions, we have not located them. But that alone, I'm saying, on that transaction alone, the CCC is saving about $52,000 a month.
Wow. On that alone?
Yes.
$52,000 monthly saving.
The other situation we came across is this, like on the square, we had 3 days activities. The labor before for electrical work,
New Year's
and these things, we are looking about the 60 and the 70 and the $80,000.
Just over the 3 days.
No,
Electrical
well,
work.
we look about 2 days. I mean, and this year we had 3. So you could imagine what it would have been. But we were able to do that from that 70, 60, and 80. We were able to do the square electrical labor for $8,500.
And it used to be?
The 60s and 70s and 80s. It fluctuates.
Wow.
You understand? So this is the level of, I mean, while we have to save, we have to, I mean, for instance, you'll have a loss on the square, because I myself was under the belief that the square was an income
generating
program. Only to find out, no, it wasn't. It is not. And then you have the losses of the $300,000, the $400,000 that would be, everybody have the share. But we were able to do it this time around at a loss of $131,000. So everything we are doing is to saving and blocking the holes and using this money to see what people are seeing there. We have not gotten any new money from any source, far less from the government.
So, that introduces revenue streams. You obviously need to start thinking about generating additional income.
Yes.
Quite apart from the house taxes, which I suspect that you probably can do very well in that area, because it was sort of comatose what was happening there. The monies were not being collected.
Yes,
That's improved.
Yes.
So that's a good revenue stream. What else? Parking meters.
Parking meters, right?
Yeah, again, Dave, I mean, that comes down on what you're saying about tightening up. And the staff were not being allowed to do what they were, especially the administrative staff, were not being allowed to do what they employed to do. Right now, I mean, we had the sole responsibility of collecting house tax, but that was changed from the last government, and we can collect, and inland revenue can collect. So as a result, that CCC was not looking at that. But I'm happy to report that, for the new structure, what we mean, that the staff was in 1 week was able to collect $1.8 million.
In 1 week,
Yes.
your staff was able to collect $1.8 million in house taxes?
$1.8 million.
That is amazing.
Okay? So that's the course we're on. And I must compliment the staff. I mean, they have understood what is happening, they have integrated into it, and we are working as a team.
What about Derek Walker Square? I don't see anything wrong in principle with people having monthly paid parking. I don't really have a problem with that so much. But there are some people, when they're out of state, sometimes the parking spots are not being utilized. And is it the plan of the city council to have metered parking around there as well?
No, well, I mean,
or you sort of tied to your...
Yeah, we have tied it. I mean, this person has their parking spot, and then they're going to be out for, let's say, a month or whatever it is.
Are you generally happy that that's generating enough income?
Well, another, we have to look at that. And
no, I think with the parking meters to be introduced.
It's terminals.
The terminals, sorry, because yeah.
Give us.
We need to say terminals.
Hang on.
Meters, yes.
I want you to explain that. Let's go to Castries.
Okay, yeah.
Castries, hi. Castries, thank you.
Hi, good evening, Joyman.
Hi.
And of course, good evening. And of course, good evening to Selma.
Yeah, good evening.
It's nice to know that you actually continuing the good work, right?
Thank you.
I guess you make out the voice.
Not quite, but as you go on, I'll make out the voice.
DeBoville.
Okay, Mr. DeBoville. Yeah, we work together in youth and sports. Yeah.
My lordship, right? I remember I did an interview with Jason Hollister, and he mentioned sometime back, that was in sometime in early January, that you were hoping to have another 30 plus city officers, and of course equipment in terms of firearms and batons and so on, and of course a change of uniform. How soon one will see, because knowing full well that you're in charge of the city, how soon one will see that happening or taking place. But I just want to compliment you all for such a wonderful job that you're doing.
Okay.
And I have, I can now raise my head above the water and walk in Castries compared to the last few years, because of all the nonsense that was actually happening. You can walk in Castries now compared to, what I'm saying. And I'm really happy that you're actually taking care of the unfilthy animals, within, especially around the marketplace where people go and buy the food and stuff like that.
Right.
But let's keep it going.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
In terms of our city police, well, not many people like the black and white they're wearing. I need to say that up front, but it's training uniform. They're doing what we call the swimming by drowning process now. They will be going into focused training as of next week. He spoke about the use of ammunition, wearing of the uniform, and the baton and so on. We will not give them all of these except until they're trained to use those items, those accessories. So the training is going full swing by next week. We have some individuals that we have brought in, and hopefully by the 1st of June, hopefully, if everything goes well, our now black and white police officers, those in black and white, will be in full uniforms, looking good. We'll let you know a little more about it. They will be wearing all of the accessories that he's talking about.
What?
And they'll be ready for
the battle.
For the battle.
Hi, Castries. Oh, Castries and Cicero. Hi, Castries first. Castries, yes, hi, good evening.
There's a quick question.
Sure.
Hello?
Go right ahead.
Are we satisfied with the ambience of the Derek Walker Square, knowing that we have 2 Nobel laureate busts inside there? Are we satisfied with that?
Well,
the ambience
they're
of the
not in
square.
there. It's there.
No, I'm just asking as a nation, are we satisfied with that?
But what is the premise? What is the question? I mean, I'm not
Right.
sure what is.
It needs a facelift for a place named after a Nobel laureate.
Right.
The place, the lighting is poor.
Oh, I
Yes.
see.
The
Okay, now
whole
I understand.
ambience of the place is.
I understand the question now. I wasn't
If
sure.
I was to tell someone, if I was to tell a stranger, this is named after Derek Walcott, I mean, they would say, "What? This is supposed to be something looking better than that."
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, you're absolutely
right.
correct. You're absolutely correct.
You're
And
right.
what are the plans? What are the plans?
Okay.
Yes, we are going to upgrade it, especially the lighting. I mean, the lighting out there. I mean, I'm aware of it. So we are going to. You see, what is happening to St. Lucia now is that, as I said, the pace that we are going, that they want everything
One time.
one time.
Yeah.
But to
Probably we
be
have
fair,
been- yes, I agree
I
that.
find Derek Walcott Square always
We
looks
agree that.
dark, especially
Yes.
on
Yeah, there you go.
evenings.
Yeah,
Dark,
but we are taking
dark,
care of
dark.
We have
We're
taken
taking
that
care
into
of
consideration.
It's
Yes, the lighting in the city generally.
Derek Walcott,
Yes.
our Nobel laureate.
Even
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Cicerone, good evening, Cicerone. Our first caller from South Castries. Hello? Cicerone, are you there? Cicerone. No? Okay. Gone. All right. We were talking
about the lighting in the city.
Yes,
We have noted
overall, we have.
And
there was something else we were talking about.
ambience at Derek Walcott Square.
No, before that.
Yeah, it
The
will come.
terminals,
It
the
will come.
terminals. You're talking about the
Right, the difference.
Oh
The
yeah, between the terminals and the right,
Yes.
right. And the mayor quickly corrected or reminded me it's terminals and
Right.
not just parking meters.
Right.
Because the concept in the heads of individuals or the minds of individuals is that we will be having the single.
So
parking
what is
meters
wrong
along.
with using the same system in the area where you have parking for businessmen and so on in the city? What is wrong with that?
I mean, we have a certain category of people.
But I understand that they're paying next to nothing monthly.
Yeah, but
you're
now
not
we
generating. You're not
much, I mean, compared. But all these things have been looked
Would
into.
you obviously consider increasing those?
The other thing
fees
right now,
substantially.
we are not really. I mean, those
Substantially.
It-
You know, it's been a giveaway. It's been a giveaway.
But the other
Actually,
thing, there's some
it's going to
issues.
seem like a giveaway because
Yeah.
the rate is not going to be a killer rate.
Yeah.
However, the way it will be
But
structured,
the other
we will
thing
be
is,
making
Dave, is that
some, yeah.
the people have themselves, they have issues. Because even when they come, most of the time, they can't even use the spot because people
Somebody else.
just park.
But don't you have?
We have
your
this.
own,
We
your own-
already have these clamps. They're already in my office. I mean, the AG is now working on the legislation
Oh boy.
to admit to.
So I have to be careful if I steal
Yes.
a little time there.
Yes,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Lepanse, good evening, Lepanse. Thanks for
Hi, good
calling.
evening. I would like to compliment Mr. Francis and his team on all the hard work and effort they have placed into redeveloping our city. And with time, I believe they're going to find suitable solutions to fix our city. One area that I would like you to place more emphasis on when you're finding solutions to fixing our city is this area next to the Mondido bus stop with those individuals lollygagging. I believe they even have a dance hall there, and this is a tragedy waiting to happen. And I would like you to find a way to stop it.
That will be. I agree with the callers. We will look into this. We'll look into that. Because I'm aware of it.
And now that he has said that, I want to encourage our citizenry to give those kind of suggestions, to assist us. We are inside, we are going out, but they're also the eyes for the city. One of the things we're hoping to do is to install a suggestion box so that we will have the suggestions coming in and as fast as possible work on some of them to improve the city. We want the sense of ownership to be there.
And speaking of improving the city, we recognize that there is a renovation taking place of your building.
Yeah.
And I hope by virtue of that fact that you will pass on that to other members of the commercial community to get them to improve their buildings, because Castries looks like the buildings in Castries look like a dump, most of them. They need a coat of paint, and I was wondering whether the city council would not provide some sort of incentive where perhaps every year you would do a plea bell, whatever, some competition, paint your buildings, and you get a trophy and you get something.
Actually,
it is something
this is one of the we didn't speak about our 50th anniversary, but anyway, that is to come. One of the items or one of the programs that we have included on our 50th anniversary calendar, and we'll be giving some more information on that later, is just what you said, the plea bell class. Plea bell class. That is to come. Yeah, it is to come. And what we are doing is moving ahead of our business places, so when they see what the council looks like, they will obviously decide, hey, we need to do something about our own building. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite agree. This is long overdue. I was telling you during our meeting yesterday, a lot of people, when they look at Castries from the Mon, they say, wow, what a picturesque city. And then they make their way into the city, and when they get into the city, they're so shocked.
They're at the wrong place.
Yeah, kind of. So let's
we're
hope
hoping
this
to change
becomes.
that. Yeah, we're hoping to change that.
The Banan area.
Yes, we
all those trailer trucks.
Yeah,
that's a traffic hazard.
Yeah.
Before you answer, let's take our final call from Castries. Our final Castries call. Good evening. You're the final caller.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Let me tell you, the fellas who clean the drains, they have a long stick with a wire netting on it. They only pick up the things at the top, but there is mud in the bottom of the drains, and they do not take it out. Also, by the therefore bus stop there by the Constellation Lodge, anytime it rains, the water stays there because the drain is blocked. So this portion of the road there needs cutting, and whatever stone or whatever that is underneath there preventing the water from going down has to come out. Yeah. Thank you for the very good job you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate that.
Point taken, huh?
Yeah, that's a thing. We have to look at that.
Yeah.
Banan.
Yeah, Banan, we have plans for Banan. I mean, we are working with the Port Authority. The general manager has sent and asked for some assistance from physical planning, some technical advice, and we are waiting that. Yeah, I can remember in my opening speech when I've been installed, I said, when you drive from Viewfort and you reach and you see the harbor, and then when you start, and then when you take to go down to Banan Fuller Show and you look like, you then go back to sleep again because you realize that it look like you have another 2 hours to go again, because when you see the condition of the place, just to realize you're in the city.
Yeah.
So that we have to look at. I mean, there are things that St. Lucian will see. It's not the normal. I'm not saying we are not normal people, but we have a purpose, and we want to execute what have to be done for the city.
Closing thoughts.
I would just like to take this opportunity to thank the many people who are joining hands with us, to assist in the development of our constituency, Castries constituency.
You're getting new bins very soon?
Well,
I see some bins look very, very, very.
Yes.
Yeah, we have been doing some chit-chatting with 2 of our sister cities, and we're hoping to have some additional bins in the city. We did not mention that St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce and SLASPA and a number of the business places around would really love to hold hands. They have had meetings with us, and we want to say thank you to them for coming to the force thus far. And we want to thank you.
No, it's a pleasure. I'm very thrilled. I mean, as he says, a CDC boy, Castries City means a lot to me, and I couldn't think of a better place, a better person to have that responsible role. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, Dave, I would like to thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, yes, I did. What I would like to also the public is not only that it's coming from a certain quarter. I mean, it's coming from both sides of the political divide. Because you realize, that as I've said, politics is every 5 years. Let's play it at the 5 years. Now the people has given the government a mandate to manage. Yes, we will consult, we will educate, and so on. But we are not elected to come and give a report card after 5 years of consultation and education. We have to see how we have brought this country, make it a better place for people to live and to enjoy. And basically I'm very passionate about the city. One of the dreams I hope that I have is a bus terminal to unclog that city. That is one of my dreams. I might be gone before it, but I mean that is one of my dreams. But I would like to thank the public. I mean, they encourage us, they support us, and I think that is the driving force behind us.
And it bears repetition. You've really, the word is transformational. This new team, you've really transformed the city of Castries, and I'm really excited about what Castries is likely to look like in the next 2 to 3 years. I just hope that I'm alive to see it become a reality. We say bon Dieu.
No, because you're in a cleaner city.
Right, there you go. And please, we'll welcome your ideas.
Yes.
So
yes, I do have some. I've given some to Jason already. I don't know if it's patented.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much, Anselma Cauldron, CEO, and Mr. Mayor Peterson Francis for being here this evening. And I want to thank our viewers for responding so very well tonight, and your views and concerns have been heard. And I really hope that these two will not be strangers. We will see them again in a few months' time to report on progress. Okay, thank you very much. This program is going to be rebroadcast on Sunday at the same time, 8:30 until 10 o'clock, and on Wednesday morning, right after the morning news. This is David Samuel speaking, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Randall and our friends upstairs. This meeting is adjourned.